Warning, censorship. Warning, censorship.
As someone known for singing our great national anthem, I'm standing up against what I feel is tyranny, plain and simple.
We were becoming more submissive to government. We were being not allowed to associate with our friends. We were not allowed to, we weren't allowed to associate with our family if they didn't live with us. So that should have caused everybody to say, wait a minute, let's take a closer look at the data.
Drea Humphrey here with Rebel News, and this past Sunday, well over 1,000 Canadians who believe freedom is essential and that our government has not been honoring that gathered in front of the Vancouver Art Gallery for a peaceful BC Christmas Freedom Rally. The protest organizers, which included a celebration of freedoms and rights and no new normal, created quite the festive atmosphere. There was Santa Claus and a toy drive for the kids, good food to eat, and talented musicians. It kind of seemed like the last 9 months we had been lied to, and there really could be a sense of normalcy without injecting a rushed vaccine into our arm, but enough of that crazy talk, right? Now, we covered the entire protest, so be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss that coverage when it comes out real soon. But this report is about one particular musician who bravely sang his heart out in the name of freedom, all while knowing full well that it probably would be costing him to do so. Mark Donnelly, who has been blessing Vancouver hockey fans by leading them in singing our national anthem for the Vancouver Canucks for nearly 20 years, bravely took the stage of the Freedom Rally to lead the protesters in our national anthem. Now, I emphasize bravely because although NHL Vancouver Canucks owner Francesco Aquilini took to Twitter to publicly declare Donnelly as the former Canucks anthem singer after he learned Donnelly had agreed to sing at the rally, Mark Donnelly refused to let that deter him from keeping his commitment to be a voice against what he believes is tyranny. I caught up with Donnelly to get his opinion on the price he paid to sing the anthem about the true North, strong and free. Here's what he had to say.
Stand on guard
All right, so we're here with Mark Donnelly at the Freedom Rally. Now, Mark, your name is getting plastered around news right now. It's labeled as anti-mask, an anti-vaccine rally that you performed at today. What's your opinion on that?
Well, to be more accurate, it's really a pro-science rally because we're not anti-mask. It's just like if I have a screw and a hammer, I'm not anti-hammer. It's just the hammer's not going to help me at that time. So masks work for something. I wear masks when I use my table saw because it helps keep the sawdust out of my nose. I wear a mask when I play goal in hockey because it keeps the puck from breaking my nose. But these masks are not effective for what we're being told they're used for. Or at least there's credible opinions that say they're not working. So why isn't there that dialogue? And so I saw that there was a side of the discussion that was being censored. And finally I had enough. So I think it may be labeled an anti-mask, anti-vaccination. It really is a pro-freedom rally.
As someone known for singing our great national anthem, I'm standing up against what I feel is tyranny, plain and simple. I would have hoped that the ownership and management of our home team would have had the courage to support the freedom to express a science-based position that is for the greater good of the country. they could learn something from what the boys showed us on the ice last spring. Go Canucks, go.
I learned about this. I read it in the Vancouver Sun. That's where I learned about it. And they said that after the word got out, however it got out, that basically the Canucks kind of parted ways with you. Is that true?
Well, maybe, because they haven't contacted me yet.
Okay, so you haven't even been formally told. Was there something that happened where they said Mark Donnelly formally used to perform for the Canucks?
Well, apparently Francesco sent out a tweet, something like someone from the Vancouver Sun simply asked, is it true that you're singing at this rally tomorrow? And I sent an email saying, yeah, that is true. And I just was going on with my other work. I was taking the shed down. So, and then I get something from, someone sends me something, have you seen this? And I look at it and it's like, oh, okay. It looks like Francesco reacted to the Sun story that I was singing at it, and that I'm no longer singing with them.
Wow.
So, I suppose it's true.
So how does that make you feel then, that you came out to stand for freedoms? I mean, I find it weird that anybody would be surprised that someone who sings "O Canada" for a living would want to stand for freedoms. It makes sense to me. But how does it make you feel that that job that you had may be gone because of that?
Well, we all have to stand up sometime. To be quite honest, a lot of people might know who I am. But as far as a celebrity or public figure is, I'm not very successful at it. So I think for instance, the loss in income is nothing compared to the loss of income due to the protocol. I lost over half my income. I mean, I live on gigs, and so they're gone. So you could say the protocol kind of conditioned me for not treating it as a huge deal. It was possible. It's possible. They didn't fire me or ask me not to come back, because it's not really fired. I'm a contractor, right?
Right.
So they didn't. They had me come back when I sang for the new abortion caravan on these very steps. I don't know how many years ago that is, 7, 8 years ago, and they said, well, we don't censor our employees if they're doing something, as long as they're doing something legal on their own time.
And it is legal to be here, to peacefully assemble. So it'll be interesting, who knows, maybe there's still time for them to stick to that promise that they gave you just some years ago. Now, what is it about what's happening in Canada right now, December 2020, that makes you feel that our freedoms are at risk to the point that you're willing to, risk that opportunity?
Well, I'll tell you something that I haven't told anyone else. My family knows this, and my friends know it. But as I said in my statement, I went along with Dr. Henry's original protocol, the 15 days. Everybody was doing the flatten the curve thing. And then it was extended and extended. And what was my first inkling that this was wrong was the effect it was having on us from a human standpoint. And so we were becoming more submissive to government. We were being not allowed to associate with our friends. We were not allowed to. We weren't allowed to associate with our family if they didn't live with us. So that should have caused everybody to say, wait a minute, let's take a closer look at the data. is this actually the right thing to do? Because if it is the right thing to do, we have to weigh it against how it's destroying society. But like I said, the cost-benefit analysis was either never done, or it was done but never presented to us. So now we weigh it out, okay, the people we're saving from the protocol and the people who are dying and becoming marginalized because of the protocol. Why isn't that the discussion? So finally, I guess it was enough is enough. The straw, it was the straw that broke the camel's back.
Well, I say, if you ever need to hire someone to sing at an event, who better to reach out to than the amazingly talented patriot, Mark Donnelly? And while we're at it, let's let Mark's boldness be an inspiration to all Canadians who are upset with the government's overreach and lack of transparency, but hold back on voicing those concerns due to the fear of the fascist-like cancel culture that thrives only when good men do nothing. Drea Humphrey for Rebel News. Now, whether you believe Canada is facing tyranny or not, here's facts for you. Law-abiding citizens in our country are now receiving fines for going to church, visiting loved ones, and not covering their face in public. Oh, and opening their businesses to avoid losing them. Rebel News has had enough with it. If you or anyone you know has received such tyrannical fines, or you just want to help donate to help us cover the legal costs that we are committed to when fighting those fines on behalf of Canadians, please head to fightthefines.com. As always, we appreciate your support.